Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that a single new law could change how you work, raise your children, or even protect your home. That's the reality in 2025 as the UK introduces sweeping legal changes that touch every family, from new rights for parents of premature babies to stronger protections for renters and even updated inheritance rules that affect your financial future. These laws are shaping daily life in ways you might not expect. Stay tuned, because knowing these changes could save you stress, money, and heartache. Here are 15 UK laws every family must know in 2025. Number 1. Neonatal care leave and pay from April 2025. From April 2025, a brand new right called neonatal care leave and pay will come into effect across the UK. This law is designed to support parents whose babies are born prematurely or require extended hospital care in the first few weeks of life. Parents will now be able to take up to 12 weeks of paid leave, separate from their usual maternity or paternity entitlement. This recognizes the emotional and financial strain families face when their newborns need specialist medical attention. For many families, this change is more than a legal update. It is a lifeline. It ensures parents are not forced to choose between work and being by their baby's side during critical moments. Employers must provide this leave from day one of employment, meaning new hires and those in short-term roles are also protected. This is a significant step toward family-friendly employment rights, giving parents both security and dignity during challenging times. If you're expecting or planning a family, it's important to check eligibility with your employer now. Preparing early allows you to understand notice requirements and ensure your workplace has the correct policy in place before you might need it. Number 2. Day 1 rights for paternity and parental leave. From 2025, the Employment Rights Bill introduces stronger protections for working families by granting Day 1 rights to both paternity leave and unpaid parental leave. Previously, employees had to complete a qualifying period before being eligible, but now fathers and partners will be able to take time off immediately after starting a new job. This ensures that new parents are not penalized simply because they recently changed employment or are in a probationary period. It marks a meaningful shift toward creating workplaces that reflect the realities of modern family life. These new rules also extend to pregnant workers and new parents returning from maternity or adoption leave, offering them greater protection from redundancy. This means families can feel more secure in their employment while navigating life's biggest changes. For many households, that security can make a real difference when balancing childcare, finances, and career stability. Employers are expected to adapt policies and HR systems to meet these obligations. For employees, the key step is to familiarize themselves with these changes and be confident in requesting their legal entitlements. Awareness is the first safeguard against losing valuable family time. Number 3. Statutory bereavement leave. A new measure coming into force by 2027, but announced for families to prepare in 2025, is the right to statutory bereavement leave. While there has long been a provision for parents grieving the loss of a child, this reform extends protection to other close family bereavements. It provides at least 1 week of leave, allowing employees time to process loss without fear of losing their job or wages. Though initially unpaid, the recognition of grief as a legitimate workplace issue is a vital cultural step. Families gain formal acknowledgement that mourning cannot simply be fitted in around work demands. This change particularly benefits households where grief impacts multiple members, such as the death of a sibling, grandparent, or partner. Employers will be legally bound to allow this time off, offering both compassion and structure at an incredibly difficult moment. It strengthens the idea that workplaces have a duty to support well-being, not just productivity. For families, the practical takeaway is to confirm with HR or line managers how the organization will apply this new right. Having clarity before tragedy strikes can ease some of the stress when facing loss. Number 4. Paternity Leave, Bereavement Act 2024. The Paternity Leave Bereavement Act 2024 introduces a vital protection for families facing unimaginable loss. Under this law, if a mother or adopter dies, the surviving partner gains an automatic right to take paternity leave, regardless of how long they have been employed. This removes the usual qualifying period, ensuring that grieving parents can focus on caring for their child and adjusting to new responsibilities without the added worry of job security. It is a compassionate response to situations where stability and presence are urgently needed. For families, the impact is significant. It acknowledges that children experiencing the death of a primary caregiver need immediate support from the surviving parent. By securing time away from work, the Act helps families regroup emotionally while ensuring children receive essential care during such a critical transition. Employers must comply with this right, creating a clear safety net during tragic circumstances. Parents should be aware of how to notify employers quickly if they ever need this entitlement. Although no one wants to consider such events, understanding the process now can reduce complications in already overwhelming situations. Number 5. Family law reforms on divorce and custody. In 2025, significant family law reforms are reshaping divorce, custody, and financial settlements in the UK. The reforms aim to make divorce less adversarial by promoting a no-fault process, removing the need for one partner to prove wrongdoing. This helps families reduce conflict and focus on moving forward, particularly when children are involved. At the same time, courts are streamlining financial disclosure requirements, aiming for quicker, fairer outcomes that do not drain families emotionally or financially. Another key shift is the growing legal weight given to prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. Couples entering or already in marriage can now feel more confident that their agreements will be respected in court. This change allows families to plan finances with greater certainty and transparency, reducing disputes later on. For parents, custody arrangements are also evolving, with a stronger emphasis on the child's best interests and continuity of care. If you are married, separated, or considering divorce, now is the time to review your legal documents and seek advice where necessary. Being prepared can help protect your rights, your finances, and most importantly, your children's well-being. Number 6. Recognition of non-traditional families. The legal landscape in 2025 is shifting to better recognize non-traditional family structures, reflecting the diversity of modern society. Updates around adoption, surrogacy, and same-sex parenting strengthen the rights of parents who previously faced gaps in legal recognition. This means families that do not fit the traditional model of one mother and one father are now more clearly protected in law, giving children greater security in their relationships with caregivers. Such changes help ensure all children, regardless of their parents' circumstances, enjoy equal stability. For same-sex couples, reforms clarify parental responsibility from the moment a child is born, avoiding lengthy legal processes to establish rights. Surrogacy arrangements are also being modernized, with greater transparency and safeguards for both parents and surrogates. Adoptive parents benefit from a more streamlined recognition process, reducing delays that can cause uncertainty. Each of these developments highlights a stronger commitment to inclusion and fairness. Families affected by these reforms should confirm how their rights are formally recognized, whether through updated birth certificates, court orders, or adoption papers. Ensuring documentation is correct will prevent complications later on. Awareness now means smoother protection in the future. Number 7. Renters' Rights Bill. The Renters' Rights Bill is a major step forward for families living in rented homes across England. This law proposes ending assured shorthold tenancies, meaning tenants will no longer face sudden Section 21 no-fault evictions. For families, this offers greater stability and peace of mind, especially when children are settled in schools or communities. Landlords will still be able to end tenancies for valid reasons, but the process will now be clearer, fairer, and more predictable. The bill also tackles issues such as unreasonable rent increases. Families often face financial stress when rents rise sharply without warning, forcing difficult decisions about housing. With this change, landlords will need to justify increases, giving tenants a stronger position to challenge unfair practices. It recognizes housing as a foundation of family life rather than a precarious arrangement at the mercy of sudden costs. If your household rents, it's wise to stay updated with how this law develops. Review your tenancy agreement, understand your notice periods, and be ready to question any rent hikes. Knowledge of these rights ensures you can protect your family's housing stability in 2025 and beyond. Number 8. Product Regulation and Metrology Act, 2025. The Product Regulation and Metrology Act 2025 is designed to improve safety and transparency for everyday consumers. This law gives regulators more power to set strict requirements for how goods are measured, labeled, and marketed. For families, it means clearer information when buying essentials such as food, household products, or children's items. Misleading packaging or incorrect measurements will face tougher penalties, ensuring what you see on a label is exactly what you get. The Act also extends to environmental standards, pushing companies to be more responsible about how products are made and disposed of. For households, this could mean seeing clearer recycling instructions, safer toys, or more accurate nutritional details on food packaging. These small details carry real weight in protecting both family health and finances. Knowing that consumer rights are better protected helps reduce the risk of being misled at the checkout. For families, the practical step is to keep an eye on packaging changes in the coming months. If something looks wrong, like underweight goods or vague labeling, you now have stronger grounds to report it and demand accountability. Number 9. National Minimum Wage Increase. From April 2025, the national minimum wage has risen, directly affecting millions of working families across the UK. Workers aged 21 and over now benefit from a higher hourly rate, while updated bands also apply to younger employees and apprentices. For households, this means more money coming in at a time when living costs remain high. Families relying on part-time or entry-level roles will especially notice the difference, as even small pay rises add up across weeks and months. This change is about more than wages, it is about fairness. Employers are legally required to pay the correct rate, and failing to do so could lead to penalties. For families, this provides reassurance that every hour worked is valued appropriately. It also helps level the playing field for young adults just starting their careers, supporting financial independence at an earlier stage. If you or a family member earns close to the minimum wage, now is the time to check your payslip carefully. Confirm that your employer has applied the new rates correctly, and if not, you have the right to raise the issue formally. Number 10. Terrorism, Protection of Premises Act 2025. Known as Martin's Law, the Terrorism, Protection of Premises Act 2025 introduces new safety requirements for venues and events across the UK. Places that host large gatherings, such as concerts, sports matches, or family festivals, must now have clear security plans in place. This includes staff training, evacuation procedures, and risk assessments aimed at protecting the public if an attack were to occur. For families, this means greater reassurance when attending crowded spaces with children. The law was introduced following public demand for stronger protection after past tragedies. It acknowledges that safety is not just about policing, but also about preparation within the venues themselves. Families can expect to see visible changes, such as bag checks or additional staff guidance at events. These measures may add a few extra minutes at the entrance, but are designed to save lives in critical situations. When attending events, it's wise to be aware of the new procedures. Take note of emergency exits, staff instructions, and safety announcements. Knowing what to expect helps your family feel more confident and ensures you are ready if ever faced with an emergency. Number 11. Health and Social Care Wales Act 2025. The Health and Social Care Wales Act 2025 marks a significant change for families relying on children's care services in Wales. This law introduces a ban on profit-making within children's residential care homes, aiming to ensure that vulnerable young people are supported by organisations focused on welfare rather than financial gain. For families, it offers peace of mind that the care provided is centred on children's best interests rather than shareholder returns. Beyond the profit ban, the Act also strengthens accountability in how services are delivered. Local authorities will have clearer responsibilities to monitor the quality of care, ensuring consistent standards across Wales. Families placing children in care or receiving support services should notice improvements in transparency and reliability. This reform is about safeguarding dignity and providing stability for those who often need it most. For households in Wales, The practical step is to engage with local care providers and ask how their services align with the new rules. Understanding what has changed will help parents and guardians make informed decisions when navigating the care system. Number 12. Inheritance tax and pension rule changes. Looking ahead to 2027, families must prepare now for upcoming changes in inheritance tax and pension rules. Under the reforms, pensions will no longer automatically sit outside inheritance tax. This means that when a loved one passes away, pensions may be included in the estate and taxed accordingly. For many families, this could result in a larger tax bill than expected, particularly for cohabiting couples who do not benefit from the same exemptions as married partners. The impact is potentially far-reaching. Families who have spent decades saving through workplace or private pensions may find that less is passed on to children or surviving partners. These changes highlight the importance of planning ahead and understanding how tax rules affect long-term security. For some, it may prompt conversations about marriage, wills, or restructuring assets to reduce liabilities. The best step for families is to seek early guidance on estate planning. Reviewing wills, pension beneficiaries, and financial arrangements now ensures you won't face unwelcome surprises later. A little preparation today could protect your family's financial well-being for years to come. Number 13. UK visa and settlement rule changes. The UK government is reshaping immigration policy in 2025, with new proposals that make visas and settlement rules stricter. Families applying for residency or citizenship may face higher income thresholds, tighter sponsorship rules, and more rigorous checks for student and work visas. These adjustments aim to control migration levels, but for households already planning applications, they could create unexpected hurdles. Acting early is key, as waiting may mean falling under more demanding requirements. For international families building lives in the UK, these reforms affect more than paperwork. They influence job choices, study opportunities, and even the ability to bring dependents. Families must factor in not just fees but also time, as delays can increase while systems adjust to the new framework. Understanding the changes now prevents being caught off guard later, especially when long-term stability is at stake. If you or a loved one is navigating the visa system, keep a close eye on official government updates and seek advice if needed. Being proactive ensures applications are submitted under the most favorable terms available before stricter rules take effect. Number 14. Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill. The Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill is designed to make sure no child falls through the gaps when it comes to education and support. From 2025, local authorities and schools will be required to work more closely together, ensuring every child has access to a good school place, mental health support, and safeguarding services. For families, this means a stronger safety net when challenges arise, whether academic, emotional, or social. The bill responds to concerns about children being overlooked, particularly those with special educational needs or those moving frequently between schools. It emphasizes early intervention, meaning issues are identified and addressed before they escalate. Families can expect schools to take a more active role in connecting them with local services, reducing the stress of navigating different systems alone. This approach aims to create consistency and fairness across all regions. For parents, the takeaway is to stay informed about what new support your child may be entitled to. Whether it's extra tutoring, counseling, or specialist services, knowing the options allows you to advocate effectively for your child's well-being. Number 15. Carer and disability rights reforms. In 2025, new reforms are strengthening protections for carers and disabled family members across the UK. These measures recognize the vital role carers play in households, often balancing employment with the responsibility of supporting loved ones. Under the changes, workers now gain clearer entitlements to carers' leave, giving them time off work to manage essential appointments or provide urgent care without risking job security. This provides families with flexibility at times when responsibilities at home cannot be postponed. For households with disabled members, reforms are focused on improving access to services and ensuring equal treatment in the workplace. Employers are expected to make reasonable adjustments more consistently, while local authorities must improve how support is coordinated. These updates aim to reduce the inequalities that many families face daily, whether in education, healthcare, or employment. Families should review what support they currently receive and check if new entitlements apply to them. Whether it's requesting leave from an employer or seeking local authority assistance, being proactive ensures that the protections offered in law translate into real help at home. The legal landscape in the UK is shifting rapidly, and 2025 is a year of transformation for families, from parental leave reforms that recognize the realities of modern parenting to renter protections that create more stability in housing, and even changes in inheritance and pension rules that will shape long-term financial planning. Every household is touched in some way. These laws are not just words on paper, they carry the power to impact how families live, work, grieve, and grow together. Understanding these changes is more than keeping up with headlines. It's about being prepared. A parent of a premature baby now has the legal right to remain by their child's side without fearing job loss. A tenant facing unreasonable rent increases has new tools to challenge unfair practices. A carer balancing work with family responsibilities finally has greater security when requesting leave. Each reform adds a layer of protection, building a framework that recognizes the pressures of everyday family life. The key takeaway is awareness. Families who know their rights can take proactive steps, whether that's reviewing employment contracts, checking tenancy agreements, updating wills, or simply having conversations with employers and schools. Small actions now can prevent bigger problems later, turning legal protections into practical benefits. If these insights helps you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your own experiences in the comments. And don't miss our other videos exploring financial planning and family well-being in 2025. Knowledge is power, and your family deserves every advantage.